we've also turned it into an opposite personality type of thing.
Yeah.
Like they're polar opposites in some way.
All opposites attract.
Yeah, and they literally have to learn each other.
I totally
guess it's
did
common.
mine because Nightwing's my favorite DC character.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's cool. It's
I'm
cool
like,
'cause-
how do I get Nightwing in here and still make it really cool?
Yeah.
That worked, man. It
Yeah.
did.
Welcome to Drop Culture. We're here tonight to talk about some mashups that we would like to see.
Mash it up.
We've been talking about doing these for a long time, and when we did the video game one, that kind of popped this idea in my head.
Right.
It's like, what comic book characters would you like to see share a limited run or share a series or anything like that don't normally share runs, share series, anything like that? There's just something that you would really, really, really enjoy seeing for the first time, second time, because every one of the characters have had to have shared a book at some time.
Right.
You know, and I'm not an archivist with all of that stuff, so I don't really know. So, I mean, I in my comics, I like the dark comics. I like the macabre. I like the supernatural, God and the devil, all that stuff, like Ghost Rider. You know,
I lean that way as well.
yeah.
My story will not portray that by any means, and I'm okay with that.
Mine's pretty dark, and I'm just gonna get right into it, just because it's something.
Wait, before you do that, to the left of me is Brock.
Oh yes, hi.
Hey, Brock. I'm Tyson. I'm excited to hear about your mashup.
My name's Mitchell, and I'm super stoked to hear you, Brock.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Good
Well,
team.
let's
Good
do it,
team.
Brock.
All right, now I'm going to hit it because this has been building up for a long time, and I'm pretty excited about this. Now, the two people that I chose were Doctor Strange and Daredevil. Now, the reason why I did that really kind of comes from my love of the Daredevil with Kevin Smith, the one that he wrote.
Yeah.
Because they shared a little bit of book time in this one, and it was a really cool part of the whole book, the way the art was and everything like that. So that's always stuck in my head since I read that book a long time ago, and then I decided to put it in the real world sense, to add something with another real world mythos. You know, it's in real events that happened, because most of this stuff happened in New York. In New York, there's all kinds of stories that you can can build these character stories off of with real life events to kind of put you in the right spot.
Yeah.
New York, something's always happening. I was
Marvel's
there last
always
week,
in,
and
yeah.
a helicopter crashed into a skyscraper.
Holy
for
shit.
real.
Yeah,
And I'm like, okay, well,
saw that on
welcome
the
to New
news.
York.
Yeah, I
okay.
did see. Yeah,
It's totally normal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a thing here. Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of that's the first thing you saw when you turned on the news, huh?
No, like people were texting me, like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, because we had been in Times Square like for the 2 days before that,
Oh,
and like it was kind of rainy and the kids slept in, so we were like, "Yeah, we're not doing that today." And
nice. And then that happened.
then helicopter,
Yeah. Well, hey.
and sad for that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Just the guy, whatever, one guy.
There's
He's the only one that perished.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, that's sad.
Yeah, sad.
Sorry. But in the Marvel comics, there's so many people that have mainstays that are mainstays in New York. You know,
Yeah.
Daredevil, Spider-Man,
Absolutely.
X-Men, the Avengers. So, but you're saying,
Oh, well, I picked these two also on another level too, because Doctor Strange is the master of the mystic arts.
sure,
He's very into demonology. He's very into all different kinds of the macabre, things like that, sorcery. And then you got Daredevil, which is a 100% Catholic kid, grew up, confesses every Sunday, everything. So you have
street level kind of.
yeah,
hero.
you have both of those.
That
kinda-
religious side,
yeah, the
yeah, he's-
religious side, and you have that mythical side. So it's the two of those
mystical.
worlds colliding, and it would make an interesting pairing because it would make a really interesting pairing because really they they work in the same spot too all the time, and
Absolutely.
it's like you would never see them, but then they could use all of both of their gifts per se to fight this one deal. And the way that I kind of put it is I built it around the Son of Sam killings.
Right, that's what I wanted to get to. Is so you're going to kind of have it set in the real world,
The real world time in 76 through 77. And I read a little bit about David Berkowitz, and he said that he was involved in some sort of a cult that was trying to summon demons at some point before all of this happened. So then I got that in my head. Okay, there is a group of these Satanists, and David Berkowitz is one of them, but you really don't know, of course, because it's just a big circle of guys just and all these demons come out. And at least 12 demons, something like that, infect one or two people, depending on the shootings that they have, to build it around there, because he also said that he wasn't the only shooter. So you kind of put those together and you're like, okay, and that at that time in New York, that was a huge, huge thing. People were cutting their hair. The women you couldn't park in a car after a certain time, and you never knew where he was going to go. And it was so cryptic and strange. And then you put that and you kind of mix the amount of people that's in there, and you can see how, let me just kind of get into.
There was a heat wave going on around that time too, so it would add to the. I guess in my head, when you tell me this, it adds to that visual of the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These two characters, especially.
Well,
absolutely. I think the heat wave too kind of leads to the madness of the whole situation as well. Lends itself to it rather.
And Daredevil, he's a devil, so lots of reds.
Well, and Daredevil's been a character that's gone to hell.
Yeah.
So this is like almost, and whether that really happened or didn't, I guess nobody ever knows, really. In the comic, but
yeah.
I think it's cool that you line those two characters up together.
Yeah. I mean, and let me just start it out. It kind of starts with Berkowitz, and like I said, they were doing the whole seance and everything like that for Zarathos, right? And this is going to be set kind of before or right about the same time as Ghost Rider too. So that's another kind of tie-in that I had for it, right?
Right.
And then each one of the demons come out and they grab these people, and it's kind of just one at a time. They go out and start committing these really weird murders at the same time the other ones are going on too. Like Daredevil kind of gets into the whole fight first because he
gets into the plot, driven into the plot first.
Yeah, he's the first one to see what's kind of happening and everything like that. Basically, it's like this guy's going after a woman and a kid or something like that in an alley, and that's where, of course, Daredevil fights a lot. And he kind of comes in and he just notices that this person he looks possessed. It looks crazy. It looks different than anything he's ever seen. So before he actually stops the dude from doing the killing, of course, they fight. He's got some weird demon in him and everything. And the dude kills himself. So, I mean, I want to, of course, make it to where the heroes they don't have blood on their hands, because they're not killing these demons. These demons are doing it themselves so they can get out.
But it is violent, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's pretty violent because of just some of the crimes that they do. And then that's again where, I see Doctor Strange coming in. Doctor Strange, in my head, he's coming in to seeing, all these people on top of a roof, across the street from him. But there's somebody standing at the door doing some kind of weird spell across the whole place. And these people look like they're about to jump off. Well, Doctor Strange basically saves them all. And then that one dude somehow gets on the roof and is about to jump. Doctor Strange can't stop him. He's dead, right? So that's where, they start reaching out. They start trying to find out what's going on. And the whole time in the background, in newsreels and everything like that, you're seeing the story of the Son of Sam killings. It's just starting.
A la the Dark Knight Returns. Maybe?
Yeah, and each one of the issues would probably have that being the top story of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it just starts off with the news, and it shows another interaction with the two guys. But the really cool part about the interaction with them is Daredevil has to figure out a way to use the mystic arts, even though he doesn't really. I don't know. He doesn't really believe it too much, but yet he's seeing it in front of him, or not. But he's Daredevil.
It's an interesting dichotomy.
Yeah, and then Strange doesn't really see the other side of him too,
because he's more of a realist.
Yeah, and there was a big break in the murders too at some point. So I would like to have that big break where Daredevil's learning the mystic arts in the shadow realm or whatnot. You know, he's doing stuff, he's learning things, and you're also hearing little blurbs about other murders happening. It's just that hot time in the city. You know what I mean? So it's just that really weird deal, and they finally get to the main person, is Zarathos, which Zarathos he's tied to Ghost Rider.
Yeah, he's the spirit. He's Mephisto. Tied him to Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Or tied him to Johnny Blaze. Right?
Yeah.
He's a Johnny Blaze villain, is what you're saying.
No, he is Johnny. He is Ghost Rider. Zarathos
he is.
Yeah. He's the demon that forms Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
dang.
So, I mean, the whole time they're taking down these demons, those killings are going on, of course. There's not one of those like team up moments where they're like, oh, I'm going my own way and you're going your own way. It's like Daredevil learning from Stick again. Yeah. Daredevil learning how to see in a different way again.
There's no obligatory fight.
Yes.
Because that'd be stupid.
Yeah, there would be no reason for them to fight. And then, I mean, you don't really bring in any other heroes to it, just because it's a real world kind of a thing that they're seeing this while everything else is going on. So they kind of know what's going on, but they don't really even tie in the Son of Sam killings to it. That's why it's still there in the background going the whole time.
Because that's just what the public sees.
Yeah, that's what you see. And then they might, you know, of course, each one of the panel might cut to the actual news story and then what's going on in Hell's Kitchen.
Right,
you know,
right.
There's something happening there, and it's just getting major press for it. You know,
back to when Daredevil first sees like the possessed guy, is it because Daredevil has like heightened senses and such that he can tell something's wrong?
He
with
notices the heartbeat is weird, something crazy like that. You know, only something that Daredevil would be able to do.
Like the temperature off the body is like a much higher temperature than
or something like that.
Yeah, he can pick them out in the crowd at that point, because that's a great idea. Because I never really thought that, you know, how does he actually sense them?
He's going to be looking at it through like echolocation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's going to see the person, but he's not going to. He's going to feel the person. He knows that it's happening. That's what leads him into all the situations, you know.
Well, I just think from Daredevil's point of view, it'd be interesting to see the art drawn like he looks like a creature, but the woman and child that are getting mugged just see like a normal mugger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they would only see
right. You know
so you would see the vibrations of the demon,
right?
Whatnot, through Daredevil's eyes. And that would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, however one of the artists wanted to interpret.
Yeah, that would be like super cool, because how else would Daredevil see? So he's got a leg up almost. But Doctor Strange does too, so that's how they kind of go together. You know, they might even bump into each other during a really violent crime on a bus or something. You know, something crazy like that, to where they're just, I don't know. There has to be a good easy tie for them to both come together and then be like, oh, okay, maybe we can use each other on this.
Well, I mean, if they're kind of researching the same thing, and they're in that area, they're gonna run into each other.
Yeah, if it happens in Hell's Kitchen on Daredevil's turf, then he's starting to investigate this thing that he saw mugging this woman and child, and then after the church scenario or the building they're on top of, I'm sorry, I don't remember. You know, Strange can see it. And then they eventually will meet up looking. They'll find this. The clues will lead them both to the same place.
Yeah.
Which will then, you know, further. I envision this, if it goes for a year, if it's 12 issues due each month. Yeah. As the title of the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So or January.
They have the killings as being the dates that the killings happen.
Right.
Be the title of the book.
What was the dates for it? Do you remember?
70, 76 to 77. I don't know. I know it started in it started in like November or something crazy like that, after October, because they were technically, you could have it going on, you know, it first starts in October and then kind of goes till October. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they went into July, I think, is how long the murders went to. So it was in the middle of the summer because it was during the heat wave.
Well, you could even have it not start, you know, you don't start at the beginning of that story. That's already happening. That's why it's in the newsreels.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, absolutely.
It's just like it's coming back. You can move back and forth, and you can kind of see. I thinking just seeing them fight too in a different realm with the demon too, just in my head, would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, man.
Because it would be they could be doing all kinds of crazy acrobats or whatnot, where they're jumping off the side of buildings, just like in the movie. You know what I mean? But I mean, you could really make it to where it's it's just an entire different space for them to fight when nobody else sees it.
Yeah, like they could be in an abandoned building, but what's really they're in a different realm, right? So they're bleeding over into like the whatever realm, the shadow realm or whatever.
Yeah,
and they're fighting, all sorts of crazy monsters. It'd be a cool.
And Daredevil would learn like protection spells and ways to actually hurt the demons.
Yeah,
okay.
While he's in there,
right?
With his